The man known we have called a hot car dad, indicted on 8 counts today, including malice murder, felony murder, all this for leaving his 22-month-old son in an SUV for nearly 8 hours. As a lot of people are, I'm sure, aware, this child eventually baked to death. Deneen, what do you make of these charges?
Well, I think that it seems pretty accurate to me. I'm not surprised. There are a lot of charges. A couple of them, though, are in conflict. The 2 felony murder charges, I think it's interesting that they charged one with malicious intent and the other with negligence, which basically means one, he had malice and aforethought. The other, it was something that he should have known better than to do. And I think that they did that so that the jury can have 2 options, so that if they can't find that he maliciously intended to murder this child, they can at least find that he should have known better as a parent and should have made a different decision. Gives them kind of the either-or argument. So,
Deneen, the DA is not going to whittle this down to some other charges or pick amongst them. These are the ones that he's going to go to trial for.
Well, not necessarily. This is kind of the shotgun approach, which means that the DA fires off a bunch of charges and decides what's going to stick. Yeah. But that's when the defense attorney comes in, and they kind of go through these charges and figure out, you know, what seems to be appropriate and what isn't. And the DA may decide to get rid of some of these as they go along. But, you know, to me, the charges that they've put forth are pretty straightforward, and they're pretty accurate according to what the facts of what we've been presented.
All right. Evie, I get the criminal negligence. I mean, I think that's what we've been saying all along, but it sounds like they're heading towards possibly a death penalty case. Do you think?
Right, so that's why they're giving that malice charge. The malice murder charge, essentially, it's saying it's more than intent. There's something premeditated but very malicious here. And again, it depends how the Georgia law statutes work. But essentially, if they can get him on that, then they'll probably push for capital punishment, which is what they want to do. But essentially, when they take these charges, when you go to a grand jury to get an indictment, it's to a group of citizens, essentially. They lay out all the evidence, and they say, okay, this is what we have. Based on what we have, the grand jury comes back and says, okay, here are a bunch of charges. This is what we think we have enough to get him on. And then as you go through the trial process, through the discovery process, it's essentially you see what sticks and what doesn't. So essentially you come back up in the beginning, you put as much as you can, and then sometimes some of these may fall through.